Hey everybody, welcome once again to iStutter. This is the channel where we get to talk about stuttering, speech impediments, stammering, and everything else concerning that topic. So before that I start, I want to re-emphasize, though I did say that in my very first vlog, but you know, just in case you missed it, I am not a speech therapist or some kind of a speech specialist. That's not what I bring to the table here. What I do bring, however, is 45 years of experience living with a speech impediment. So today I wanted to talk about my thoughts on speech therapy. First and foremost, speech therapy is a good thing. Okay, it is not a bad thing. I want to make sure that you guys understand that it is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. The second thing is that you are your best speech therapist, meaning whether or not you get is, well, first and foremost, not everybody is going to be able to afford that. I understand that most people probably will not be able to afford their own private session with a speech pathologist. I understand that, which is why I'm saying this. Whether or not you have your own speech pathologist working with you, you are your first speech therapist, okay? For several reasons. No one is gonna care more about you trying to manage your speech than you, even your speech therapist. So first and foremost, you are your first speech therapist. You are. Wow, it is very, very windy out here. Look like we're in the middle of a dust storm. This is the worst. This is actually the worst I've ever seen it. Actually, it actually looks hazy. I'm not sure how it's looking on the camera here, but yeah. So you are the first line of defense when it comes to speech therapy. Okay, so for those of you who can afford that, to get your own speech therapist, understand that this person that's like coaching you and like you know, mentoring you to be able to be better at speech, it is like your second line of defense. Wow, that was a rock. This car, I swear, is a rock magnet, because the other car does not get rock hits like that. This car always gets a lot of rock hits. But all right, so this is the second thing I wanted to make sure that you understand. Third, it is best, okay? Not saying that if you can't find this, it's a bad thing, okay? You may have to go with what you got if you can afford to get yourself your own speech therapist. But if you can find one who is themselves or who themselves have the same issues with you, it's best. So it's better for you to get a speech therapist who also has a speech issue or worked out their you know, speech issue, because there's a lot of people with this issue who ventured into who've conquered it, and they chose to go into speech therapy, you know, just a way to give back, okay, to those who have not reached that goal yet. So because I've had speech therapists where that one was fluent and then the other one was a recovering stutterer, and the one who was a recovering stutterer I found to be most beneficial to me, because there's something about that the fact that this person has what you have, you know, and plus on top of that, they've managed it well, or they've conquered it, you know. So there's something about that that just works better, because they, you know, just because they can relate to you more because they've gone through what you're going through. So it's better to find one who themselves have they've beaten their you know, speech problem, and or they've you know, successfully managed it. Or try not to get a speech therapist who's been fluent their entire lives. Okay, I wouldn't do that. You know, just because with my experience, I find that the ones who been through it more, like who've actually been through that and conquered it, were better help. And last but not least, if you are a person that has a speech impediment, and for whatever reason you cannot have a speech therapist, okay, whether you cannot afford it or where you live is just not available, there are books, there are great books that you could find. One book that I would recommend, there is a book called Self Therapy for the Stutterer, and there are, I think, several versions of it, but it's sponsored by, I think, the Stuttering Foundation of America. And this book was the first help I've gotten to helping me manage my speech. I remember I would think I was 18, and I was in the library, and I was coming to grips with the fact that I don't speak like everybody else, you know, kind of had like a come to Jesus moment. And I got up and I started to walk through the aisles of books, and then I found that book. And that book has been like my day one kind of help to manage it is so hard to vlog with a manual. So that was my first step into learning how to manage my speech. Now of course, as you watch this video, you know, you can tell that, like, you know, I'm not a fluent person, but trust me, I've come a long way. Like, you know, one of my nicknames when I was younger was Mute, just because I didn't speak a lot, just because that's how bad I was. But that book was the first help I got that brought me back from the brink, if you will, with my speech. You know, because the older I was getting as a teen, it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. You know, when you think that it couldn't get any more worse, it got more worse, or it got worse. It couldn't get worse, it got worse. So that is a great way to start. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on speech therapy. So I hope that helped you, and until next time, I'll see you on the next one. We are in Las Cruces, Texas. Las Cruces, New Mexico, rather. I'm going to eat lunch at one of my favorite places to eat. It is a Japanese restaurant. I think it's called Shakura, and should be fun. So as I said before, until next time, I will see you around in the next one.